Another thing that we've added here that we're really excited about is we've added a new civil labeler. This just gives you so much more ability to do the types of labels that our civil users require. So let me just give you a couple of examples. So up here under drawing production, you see we've got a new civil labeler, and we're going to deliver it with different types of labels. So here I've got some cross-section labels, some plan labels, some profile labels. And so I'm just going to do a few things here. So let's just start with something simple. So let's just do, for example, the name of a piece of geometry. So I'll just select that label. I'll say place. I'll identify the piece of geometry that I want to label, and this geometry happens to be named centerline. And so it's going to label that for me right now. The nice thing about this is it's of course dynamic. It's reading the property to get its name. So if I was to change this to ramp 22, the label will automatically change to ramp 22. It's also associative. So if I was to move that alignment or change something about that alignment, you can see the label would move. Okay, well that's great, but that's pretty straightforward. So let's look at something else. Let's say I wanted to label that the intersection of those two alignments. Now I need to identify two different alignments. So I'm going to identify the first alignment, and I'm going to identify the second alignment. And what it's going to do, it's going to calculate the station, the intersecting stations, and it's going to create a label with the proper station of both names. So this is, now you're starting to see some of the flexibility where you don't have to identify just one thing. You can identify two things or three things and four things and make calculations based on those. Let's drop down to the points. Let's do a station, offset, and terrain elevation, and I'll show you what I mean. So there's a station, so I'm going to identify the alignment that I want to get the station off of, and then I'm going to identify the point that I want to label, and I'm going to place it. So what it does, it reads the point name, which is control 1, gives me the station and offset off of ramp 22, the coordinates, the elevation. In this case, there is none, but then it reads the ground elevation from the active terrain. Okay, so again, you're reading alignments, active terrains, so on and so forth. Let's do another one here for this point here. This is a station offset projected elevation. So I identify the alignment, identify the point, and it gives me the point name, the station and offset, the coordinates, the elevation of the point, and then it projects over radially and reads the profile from that alignment, the profile elevation of that alignment. Okay, so getting a lot of information from a lot of different sources. Again, it continues to be dynamic and associative. So if I was to pick that point up and move it, the label would not only move with it, but it would recalculate the coordinates, the station, and the new profile elevation of ramp 22 at that location. So as I said, we're not just interested in creating a labeler that's as good as our legacy products. We want to blow right by that and just do things that those labelers never dreamed. Again, it's the same labeler whether you're in plan, profile, or cross section. So I just moved over to a cross section view, and I'm just going to place a few labels there. So again, it's, you don't have to go pick a different labeler. It's just going to recognize what view you're in and allow you to, place those labels in the appropriate view. It also comes as kind of with name boundary. It's very similar to that. You have a name boundary manager. You have a civil label manager. So this is where these labels can be edited, created. You can cut and paste. So again, we're going to deliver in our workspace a fair amount of labels that Dan has worked on very hard. And but again, you can notice the users can control their own prompts. We're not going to default the prompt. You can have it prompt whatever you want it to prompt, or call it whatever you want it. And so again, you can do multiple targets. There's a case with 2, or there's a case with 4. You can do whatever you want to do. So again, very powerful. We're introducing it as a tech preview in this release.